This video will briefly take you through the activity report for Pro customers. So within the activity report, you can get a gauge of how hard any activity was compared to your baseline. And a quick overview, you can see the summary on the first tab, periods and athletes. You can choose how you compare your data. So by default, this will be compared to match day, of which you will need to have tagged all of your match days. And any athlete that is a full participation tag and activity with the MD tag will be included in the average to be compared against. So, for example, if I wanted to see how hard this training session was, or in this case, this friendly match was compared to our typical game, I would select match day. But if this had been a different situation where I wanted to see how that compared against what we typically do the day before of a game, I could go and pick the day before the game average set, and the dashboard will recalculate compared to that training day type. We then have the filters in here, and we can filter by participation, athlete, or periods. And we, from the summary tab, can export via PDF and a CSV with all the session data within it. Within the report itself, we have included a multi-mechanical model. This is a very basic model which takes into account distance, high-speed distance, and accels decels. These are all quantified as a percentage of the baseline, so either the match day baseline that we selected in the top right, or potentially a day type benchmark. We essentially take each parameter, divide it by the benchmark measure, and calculate a percentage. The average of these then make up the volume. For the intensity side of things, we take each of those parameters and divide them by duration, which then gives us the same basis to take the parameter, divide it by the benchmark to give us a percentage for each of the three parameters, which becomes intensity. These two times together make the overall score. And what you can imagine is if you have an intensity that is match day intensity, and the volume is at 50%, which is half a game, then you'll see an overall score of 50%. Over on the right, you can see the participation. So this is based on any participation tags applied in that activity. And down the bottom here, you have a quick view of the most intense periods and the highest performing athletes. Both of these shortcut to other tabs that you can navigate to from the top. In the periods tab, we have a breakdown based on period type. So if you have more than one period named the same, that will go into a single period card. And within here, we're essentially taking the same approach, but by a period basis, and we're seeing the average per athlete within each drill. And then finally, within the athletes tab, we can pick any parameter that we wish. And as a Pro customer, you can go and customize these within the settings and parameter groups window, picking any parameter you wish. And you can also view that in a table. One of the added bits of functionality in here is that you can compare both on an absolute basis, but also as a percentage. So if you're interested in seeing a different parameter outside of what's been included in the multi-mechanical model, you can go and see how that compares to their benchmarks, one of which may be of interest in terms of the max velocity, being able to take that and understand what is the percentage max velocity compared to a game without having to update it within the profile. That is a brief overview of the activity report.